Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lord, thank you for allowing us all to be here today.
Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lord, thank you for allowing us all to be here today.
Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lord, thank you for allowing us all to be here today.
Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of America and to the republic for which it stands.
already an approved entitlement or business license, the city wouldn't retroactively ban or prohibit it. It's just moving forward, we would no longer accept any applications or entitlements or business license for future uses.
So where's that location?
That one's right here on Central Valley Highway. An approved entitlement or business license. That's right. We would restrict cigar lounges or hookah lounges. Yeah.
Markets or.
Right. It would not affect, correct. Yeah, great question. So I should clarify that. The way we would amend the zone code is we would add definitions that define
That's
what
right.
these
We
uses-
would-
we would restrict cigar lounges or hookah lounges. Yeah. It would, so the way we would amend the zone code is we would make it clear that, you know, convenience stores with, I think, less than 15% of their gross floor area dedicated to retail use of tobacco or cigars and whatnot would not fall under these regulations because it's accessory to the convenience store or to the gas station and whatnot.
So
Yeah, it's if the primary use is tobacco.
Gotcha. So the difference is the amount of.
Right, but if you're at if it's a gas station that happens to sell cigarettes or tobacco products, we're not going to not allow that to be sold at that store, but the primary purpose of that store is a convenience store or a gas station and not solely a tobacco shop.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay. No further questions.
Any other questions?
Yes, that's more question. Okay, I will open the public hearing on this item. Is there anyone who wishes to speak on this item? If so, please give your name and address for the record. Do we have anybody online wishing to speak? Seeing none, I will now close the public hearing.
No.
I need a motion to adopt resolution number 25-460, recommending that the city council approve zone code amendment number 25-21, an amendment to Title 17 of the Shafter Municipal Code to prohibit the establishment of smoke shops, smoking lounges, and tobacco stores in all zoning districts within the city of Shafter.
I motion to adopt.
I second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Simmons and a second by Commissioner Pizer to adopt resolution 25-460. I need a,
Commissioner Sanchez,
Aye.
Kaiser,
Aye.
Simmons,
Aye.
and Gishwan.
aye. All right, we'll move on to our second public hearing for tentative track map number 7463. May we have the report, please?
Thank you, Mila. So Lennar Homes is requesting approval of a tentative tract map to subdivide approximately 181 acres into 578 lots. This proposed subdivision will include 548 future single-family homes, 2 public parks, a 43-acre recreation site, 2 drainage basins, a water well site, and an extensive paseo system. The proposed residential lots range in size from 5,000 square feet to 13,000 square feet. The project site is located north of 7 Standard Road within the Mission Lake Specific Plan area. To the south and east of the tract are 2 other tentative tract maps, 7461 and 7462, which have both received approval from the Shafter City Council. There's other ongoing residential development east of this tract in the Marcona Preserve and Gossamer Grove specific plan areas. Also, just a quick note, it looks like this is an old version of this presentation, so the tract boundary shown
Okay.
here is actually incorrect. It should be just west of this red boundary. So
Is that
the
that's
circular one,
okay.
yeah, with the but we'll see it on this next slide. Could you click next, Mila? Oh. It's not letting me click. Oh, there we go. Thank you. So the proposed tentative tract map has been designed to be consistent with the requirements of the Mission Lake specific plan and has been reviewed by staff to ensure compliance. The general layout of the proposed subdivision is shown here on the slide. The actual map, which is included in the resolution, includes details like the proposed lot lines, street alignments, access points, the location of the parks, and open spaces. Approval of a tentative map requires a public hearing before the Planning Commission and the City Council. Certain findings must be met for map approval, which are listed here. So the proposed map was reviewed for compliance and consistency with the city's general plan, the Mission Lake specific plan, the local subdivision ordinance, the California Subdivision Map Act, and all other applicable municipal codes. Staff found that the proposal complies with all necessary requirements at this time, and conditions of approval have been prepared that are deemed necessary for the safety and welfare of the community. The project is also exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act because the project consists of residential activity that was accounted for in previous environmental review. All of the findings that are required to be made by the city have been satisfied for track 7463. Staff's recommendation now is that the Planning Commission approve resolution number 25-459, recommending that the Shafter City Council approve tentative tract map number 7463, which proposes to subdivide 181.44 gross acres into 578 lots, subject to the associated findings and recommended conditions of approval. If commission approves, staff would move forward with noticing this tentative map for future public hearing at the City Council. Any questions?
Alan, what's the approximate lot size then?
Approximate, it ranges from 5,000 to 13,000. So they're all low density, single family homes here. Yeah.
The amount of parks, is it 2 or 3?
There's 3 of them, yes, but there is one that's much larger than the other ones. It's a 43-acre site. It's called a recreational site, and that's the site that will have what will actually be the lake portion of the Mission Lake specific plan. Yeah, but at this time, there's no landscaping or public park plans included with this application here. This is simply for the subdivision entitlement.
Any more questions, commissioners? All right. I will now open public hearing on this item. Is there anyone who wishes to speak on this item? If so, please give your name and address for the record. Do we have anybody online? Seeing none, I will now close the public hearing. I need a motion to adopt resolution number 25-459, recommending the city council approve tentative track map number 7463 with findings and conditions of approval.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 25-459, recommending the city council approve tentative track map number 7463 with findings and conditions of approval.
I second.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Sanchez and a second by Commissioner Pizer. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Sanchez,
Aye.
Heiser,
Aye.
Simmons,
Aye.
and Yashawn.
Aye. All right, we'll move on to our third hearing, zone change number 25-78. Staff, may we have the report, please?
Thank you. Alrighty. So the property owner of 351 and 347 Central Avenue in the downtown core of Shafter is requesting a change in zoning designation from downtown commercial to general commercial. The property is a half-acre site located on the west corner of Central Valley Highway and Central Avenue. The property owner is requesting the zone change to facilitate the future development and operation of a business that may potentially include a drive-through. The applicant has concurrently submitted an application for a conditional use permit to be brought before the planning commission at a future date in the event that the zone change is approved by both commission and city council. The ultimate end use of the site has not been confirmed. However, it has been determined by the applicant's team that the highest and best use of the site is a commercial drive-in business. As of now, drive-ins and drive-through businesses are completely prohibited in the downtown commercial zone per the zoning ordinance, but they are conditionally permitted in the general commercial and neighborhood commercial zones. The proposed rezone to general commercial would identify the site as a possible location for a new range of commercial uses to be proposed and introduced to the community's downtown area at the affected site. This may in turn foster commercial growth and increase activity in the city's downtown. This vicinity map here shows where the affected site is in relation to the rest of the downtown. Currently, the site sits vacant and unused, so it's the red boundary. The parcels with the peach color shown on this map are designated as downtown commercial zone, while the yellow-orange represents the general commercial zone. As of right now, those two zones are divided by the Central Valley Highway, as you can see here. So the proposed zoning would change the zone color designation on the Shafter zoning map for those two parcels from the peach to the yellow orange that you see here. So going from downtown commercial to general commercial. So the rezone of this site would extend the general commercial designation southwest of Central Valley Highway. At this time, the Planning Commission is not taking action on an actual project that may come later with the CUP application. This is just a zoning exercise to change the color on the zoning map. The only decision requested from the commission at this time is whether the base zone of the site should be allowed to change or not. Rezoning to general commercial may afford the property owner the opportunity to market this site for new project proposals and turn the site from a vacant parcel of land to contributing and thriving business in the downtown. Overall, the proposed zoning will help ensure that the land is used in a manner that is both beneficial to the property owner and the community and remains consistent to an extent with the surrounding commercial area. So staff's recommendation at this time is to adopt resolution number 25-461, a resolution recommending that the Shafter City Council approve zone change number 25-78. Any questions?
Questions, commissioners?
So Alan, are you able to go back to the map, not that one, the one before that showed the,
The existing? zoning, or this one?
Yeah, there you go, right there.
There we are.
So I'm trying to understand where that's at.
That's the building they tore down.
Oh, that's the building they tore down. Okay,
We're down.
okay.
Yes, correct. It's the one that used to have the mural. It's currently vacant.
So going to Stan's comment, I want to understand, so it would go through planning if where the drive-through exit would be,
Entrance and exit.
correct?
Right, right. There's, if the zone change were to be approved,
Mhm.
which basically allows the rules that are established in the general commercial zone to be utilized rather than the downtown commercial. Currently,
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
downtown commercial does not allow a drive-through.
Mhm.
It would allow a restaurant, it would allow a bank,
Mhm.
and those are two of the possible uses for the site that the applicant has thought about using for the site.
Mhm.
But the drive-through component is explicitly not allowed in the downtown commercial zone. They would like to have a drive-through with either a bank or a restaurant, or perhaps some other use that could utilize a drive-through, like, I don't know, a pharmacy, let's say, perhaps.
Yeah.
Those uses by themselves without the drive-through are already allowed in the downtown commercial zone. You can do a bank today, you can do a restaurant today, you can do a pharmacy today. But you can't do the drive-through. If you were to allow the zone code to go through, there would be a subsequent application for a conditional use permit that you guys have obviously weighed in on before. And that's when you would actually see an actual site plan. We would go through a site plan review, and then we would, between planning, building, public works, engineering, we would add conditions to the site to make certain that it would be compatible and maintain health and safety.
Understood.
And another thing to consider, as Steve mentioned, is there currently already is an existing drive-through within the Shafter downtown commercial zone. So the Rite Aid pharmacy is zoned downtown commercial, yet it does have that drive-through component as part of its business operation. So
What would be the long term if we were to adopt this? Would that open up the doors for the rest of that whole entire street to potential drive-through operations as well, future looking?
Any other applicant in the downtown commercial zone, if they would want to drive through, would need to come in for a subsequent general plan amendment, zone change, and then a conditional use permit, just like this
Just like this
applicant.
one?
So this is specific, this is not a zone code amendment where we're changing the rules, like the smoke shop prohibition, where we're changing the rules for the entire zone. This is specific to this parcel.
Okay.
We're asking for a zone change from downtown commercial to general commercial, which then would allow a subsequent conditional use permit for a drive-through.
Drive-through. Okay.
We were talking about traffic earlier, but that's all, there'll be a study done during planning, right? As far as traffic conditions and how much.
Yeah, I've already kind of gotten a glimpse of some of the concepts, and the drive-through would actually be on Central Avenue and the alleyway. The drive-through would not exit on Central Valley Highway. And the reason being is that you can't meet the minimum distances between a street and an egress along Central Valley Highway. It's too short and it doesn't meet the engineering design standards of the city.
Thank you.
So to exit on a central, you have to go one direction, right? You couldn't go both directions on central. I don't remember how that street's center line.
Yeah, but people do it. I mean, you're gonna cross the double line. I mean, people constantly do it. I
Oh,
mean,
two.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's, we can enforce it through law enforcement if it's.
Yeah,
Again, we're going to get a site plan. If this was approved, we would get a site plan from through the conditional use permit application. And then we would sit down and we have a site plan review where the city engineer is there, the public works director is there, the building officials there, and we would all look at it against the established guidelines, the engineering design manual, the California Building Code. And we would have to follow those rules as we were looking at the site. And if something didn't work, then we would not allow, we'd say, hey, you got to revise this. You got to push that,
Yeah.
those drive-throughs somewhere else. You have to, just like landscaping or how you move through the parking lot to get to the drive-through
Yeah.
and how you get out of the parking lot. We could, in that analysis impose right turn only ins or not. I believe they're not double yellow there. I believe it's a
Oh,
dashed
it's-
yellow. So you can make an unprotected left.
It's on Central, the downtown portion,
Yeah.
not the Central Valley Highway.
Do you know, Steve, off the top of your head, what the approximate size of that lot is?
It's half an acre.
It's a half acre, 0.51 acres, yeah.
As far as marketing value, it's probably better. Or the owner to have it marketed.
Yeah, the owner owns actually two parcels. One of the conditions of approval, if as part of a future CUP, if again, the zone change was allowed, would be they would have to merge the two parcels through a subdivision action, would be one of our conditions, because you're not allowed to put buildings over property lines. So those two parcels would be merged into one parcel. And I think there may be even some thoughts about them having another, perhaps buying the next property over, and that could be, even more of an extension of their parking lot.
And our Rite Aid drive-through works perfectly fine. We haven't had any complaints about that or.
Not that I know of, yeah, I know.
What's the size of that?
Unfortunately.
Rite Aids.
Their drive-through component. Yeah, I don't,
How big is the parcel for the Rite Aid?
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't know.
we don't know offhand.
yeah.
I think it's a little bit bigger. It's bigger than this part of these two parcels combined. But again, that drive-through also does not, end up on Lerdo Highway. It ends up on, I believe,
On Central.
on
as well.
Central as well.
Yeah,
On
yeah.
Central as well.
And so, I mean, you look at that drive-through there and, I mean, it's I guess it's a good indicator of what could happen here because it does have similar conditions. I mean, Lerdo, similar to Central Valley Highway, is another
Yeah.
major thoroughfare here in the city. And so if it hasn't caused any issues there, then perhaps, that is an indicator for this site as well. General commercial, and then there's business park zones, and then some multifamily, residential, and more general commercial. Yeah.
General commercial and downtown, there's not much differences. Like if you go through each item,
Right. If you were to pull up chapter 5 of the zoning ordinance and look
There you
at
go. That's what I'm
table
looking at.
5.A, what
Yeah.
uses are permitted or
Yeah.
conditionally permitted in the commercial zones of the city, you would see that for the most part, yes, a majority of the land uses are identified as permissible within both zones. But yes, some of the more, I guess, intense or unique uses do require a conditional use permit in the downtown zone, whereas they would not in the general commercial zone. But this is, a zoning ordinance from 2005, so I don't,
yeah.
The conditions as far as landscaping, that's not.
that's right. And
down the road.
right, as far as, traffic control or landscaping, necessary public improvements, health and safety, as Steve mentioned, building department, public works, our city engineer would all get to take a thorough look and review of the proposed plans to make sure that the site is developed in a manner that is compatible with the surrounding community, and two, that it doesn't have any adverse impacts on the health and safety or general flow of the city.
Any more questions?
And there would be that subsequent conditional use permit would come before the planning commission as well. So it would be another opportunity for you to review and provide comments and approve or deny the application.
Thank you.
Any more questions, commissioners? All right, I'll open public hearing on this item. If anyone wishes to speak on this item, please give your name and address for the record.
Stan Wilson again. Just a clarification, I gave my comments at the beginning. Is it necessary to re-give them here at the hearing or
If you would like to add anything else to your,
I don't really need to add anything. As I stated earlier, I believe that the Central Avenue district, the 3-block district should remain as it is as a storefront community. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan.
What I will say is that we will honor his, although we did it during public comment when generally it's not about an agenda item and now it's specific to this agenda item, we'll honor his comments and make sure that they are forwarded on onto the plan, I'm sorry, the city council, if you happen to recommend approval for this item.
Good evening. I'm the applicant, Michael Hare, Laredo LLC, 6501 Fruitvale Avenue, Bakersfield. Just here to answer any questions. Commissioner Sanchez hit it right on the nose. In order for us to attract a national tenant or a large regional tenant, most of them require a drive-through component to their footprint of whatever type of business would like to utilize that property. So,
Understood.
other than that, I'm free to answer any questions.
any question, guys?
No, makes
Okay.
sense.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody online, Mila? All right, I will now close the public hearing. I need a motion to adopt resolution number 25-461, finding the project is exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act and recommending approval of zone change number 25-78 to city council.
Can you go back to the page, Milo? I forgot. I lost the thing. Where'd you get? Okay. I motion to recommend to adopt resolution number 25-461, change number 25-78 to the city council.
A second.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Pizer and a second by Commissioner Sanchez. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Sanchez,
Aye.
Pizer,
Aye.
Simmons,
Nay.
and Yashon.
Aye. All right, we'll move on to commissioner reports.
For the general plan update, I attended the second meeting with that. It's a good turnout, good discussion. I think the next meeting's in August, Steve, is that right? Or somewhere around there?
Yeah, we're still working out the actual date, but yeah, around that time frame.
So we started getting some more concrete as far as which direction we wanted to start planning the city to grow as far as road work and those items, so. And then Wonderful continues to have their meetings with the community based on input on the same development, so. It's kind of where we're standing, but they're not the only ones. I mean, it's a 25-year plan, so. It's just a major component of growth is involving them.
They just sent out an email recently for another.
Next month, yeah.
Isn't it? Okay. Is there gonna be a public? So when is that due, I guess? When do you have to have that completed by? The general plan?
The timeline is in about another year and a half. We're still working on sort of the big concepts of the plan through the the General Plan Advisory Committee. Those are open meetings. You can show up, even if you're not part of the advisory committee. You can show up to the meeting, and I would encourage you to do so. On top of that, what we've been doing is a lot of pop-up events. We went to a First Friday event. We went to Cinco de Mayo, and we also actually went to the high school during their lunch hour to solicit the high schoolers, since they're the ones that are going to be living here for the next 20 years more than, hope we all live here for 20 years, but they're going to be, affected
Yeah.
by that. And so, and basically asking them, sort of generalized questions about how they would like to see the city grow, and then we solicit their feedback and then collect it. And that will inform the decision. We're also going to have, I think you're talking about the next pop-up event that's going to occur at the first Friday on June 6th, I believe. And I believe that's already been pushed out by our social media group here at the city. So we're just continually trying to find opportunities to solicit feedback on how the citizenry would like to grow in the city over the next 20 years, and we're doing that through these various events, and then having a booth available. But yeah, there will be at some point the general plan update. The draft plan will come before the Planning Commission for a recommendation to the City Council. Then the City Council will deliberate on it and provide feedback and either approve or deny the general plan update.
So you guys have it's flowing in a positive direction. You haven't had anybody come back with, hey, I don't like this, or I do like this, or.
Well, I mean, with something this large, I mean, of course, people, some people like certain aspects, some people want to grow, some people don't.
Yeah.
The hope is that you can get close to 60+% of the people on board with a certain vision, and you've been successful. You're not going to, with something this large and this all-encompassing, you're not going to get 100%, but your goal is to get to 60-70% sort of people are on board with whatever it is that ultimately the plan looks like. But yeah, right now we're trying to figure out where we would like to put roads in the future, and which is kind of the bones of the plan, and then filling it out with the land uses around those future roads. Where do we want residential to go? Where do we want commercial, industrial, open space, things of that nature?
Public was at last month's meeting. You just kind of got to keep your times towards the general plan. People want to talk about one. Of other things that don't have anything to do with plan.
Yeah.
It was a good turnout, and the way the group kind of handled the meeting is, they take the consensus of everyone. It's not just like a one-sided deal. We actually put what we thought was based on importance on a chart on the wall, and they gather all that and kind of add everything up by numbers, and it turns out it's like, okay, everyone's kind of, this is the way we're gonna go. Like,
So progress is being made.
yeah, nothing's, I'm not sitting there arguing all night.
Yeah, no.
Any more reports, Commissioners? All right, there being no further business to come before the Planning Commission, I need a motion and a second to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
A second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. This meeting is now adjourned at 6:45 PM.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Is that yours?